Is this working? Hello? I don't even know. Hold on. Oh wait. Is it this one? Oh. Hello?
Hey everyone, okay, so today I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on Good Molecules, which is this entire collection here. Now, if you've not heard of Good Molecules,
hello, sorry, I'm not quite sure.
I believe these are going to be like the ordinary, but probably bigger.
Sorry, I'm not sure if this is working. Hello. Testing, 1, 2, 3. I don't know. My audio's working. Testing. Hello. Okay. Please check the video resolution, which is not optimal. Oh no. Let's see, can anyone hear me? Hello? Oh, hi. Hi, Jocelyn. Okay, perfect. Can you see everything okay? I just want to make sure you can see my screen okay. Okay, hold on. Okay, perfect. Okay, the screen's working. Okay. I have some fans going. Does that bother anyone? Is it too loud? No? Okay. Sorry, I've never done this before, so hopefully I get this right. How is everyone doing? Okay. Let's see. Nope, all good? Okay, perfect. Okay, hopefully I get this right. Thanks guys for coming. How's everyone's evening? Hopefully good. I just wanted to do a low-key reading of like all the documents and stuff, and then I guess if you guys want to ask me any questions. Oh, I'm good, thank you, Diane. So I guess there's like, yeah, let's just get right into it, I guess. So Johnny Depp, he filed a memorandum in support of his motion for continuance. Let's see. So I guess you can read it out, or I'll probably make comments as we go. We'll see. I'm sorry, I've never done this before. Okay, so it says, Plaintiff Johnny C. Depp has moved his honorable court for a short continuance from January 11th, 2021 until March and June 2021. Mr. Depp states as follows, that there's good cause that exists for short continuance. The decision to grant a continuance is within the sound direction of the court. The court should grant such motion where refusal to do so seriously imperils the just determination of the cause, or when good cause exists. It says, an irreconcilable conflict has arisen concerning the current trial date. When the court set the current date in this case, Mr. Depp understood that Warner Brothers planned to shoot Fantastic Beasts 3 in London long before January 11th, 2021. COVID-19 disrupted the studio's plans, causing repeated postponements. With conditions in London having improved somewhat, Warner Brothers has now set a shooting schedule that conflicts with the trial date in this case. Just the day before yesterday, on August 19th, 2020, Glenn A. Eckerl, Senior Vice President of Legal Affairs at Warner Brothers Pictures, sent Mr. Depp's manager, Edward White, a letter stating in pertinent part as follows. The theatrical motion picture, presently entitled Fantastic Beasts 3, is being produced by No. 3 Films Limited for distribution by Warner Brothers Pictures. Pursuant to the agreements between company and LRD Productions, Inc., Johnny Depp is currently scheduled to render services on the picture in London on an exclusive basis commencing in early October 2020 and running through and including middle of February 2021. Letter from Glenn A. Eckerly to Edward White. Thus, the schedule for shooting of Fantastic Beasts 3, which Warner Brothers just set to commence in early October 2020 and continue through mid-February 2021, conflicts with the trial date in this case, currently set to commence January 11th, 2021 and run through January 28th, 2021. Mr. Depp has no control over the schedule. It says, pursuant to his contracts with the studio, Warner Brothers, not Mr. Depp, determines when shooting of Fantastic Beasts begins and ends. Indeed, production of the film is a huge enterprise with 750 people working on the production. Wow. Accordingly, Mr. Depp would face potential liability for breach of contract should he fail to comply with the schedule contractually dictated by Warner Brothers. That's actually a really good point. Yeah, that's a really good point. They sign a contract saying that they'll be there, so that's a really good point, yeah. Though Mr. Depp is eager to proceed to trial, he faces an untenable situation over which he has no control. Good cause therefore exists to continue the trial date. Yeah, I can see that because I'm sure COVID pushed things back, and I'm sure they want to get things up and running as soon as possible. So it's just like with any job, right? If you have some kind of trial date up, like coming up, do you think your boss is gonna work his schedule around you? No, you know what I mean? It's just like any other job. So it's not just because he's the star that he gets special treatment, just because, yeah, there's so many people working there. And also in film, my parents work in film actually. And how it works with people's schedule is, if you work on a film, you have to try and find another gig and everything, so it's really difficult to move things around because then the crew might not be available, or you know what I mean? So it's really difficult. Oh my god, I'm Matt. Oh my god. Hi, how are you? Oh my god. And developments in this case also warrant a continuance. As the court recalls, on March 27th, 2020, Chief Judge White issued his letter opinion denying Ms. Heard's plea in bar and overruling her demurrer as to all except one of the statements at issue in Mr. Depp's complaint. In normal times, Ms. Heard would have had to file her answer and any counterclaims by no later than April 17th, 2020, which is quite a bit far back from, she filed it, within the last month? So instead, while otherwise engaging in aggressive motions practice, Ms. Heard took advantage of the COVID emergency orders issued by the Supreme Court of Virginia, extending the deadlines for her to respond to the complaint, waiting until last week, August 10th, to not only file her answer, but also to assert 3-count counterclaims seeking $100 million in damages. While count 1 of the counterclaims for declaratory judgment is merely the flip side of Mr. Depp's affirmative claims for defamation, and therefore superfluous and subject to demurrer, counts 2 for alleged defamation and 3 for alleged Virginia statutory violation raise causes of action entirely different, legally, temporally, and in terms of subject matter, than those raised in Mr. Depp's complaint. As such, they raise new facts and legal theories which vastly expand the scope of necessary discovery, with only limited time remaining before the end of the current discovery deadline. Which is true, like, usually there is a time frame when you can do a counterclaim or respond. Usually it's like 30 days. Usually when you say, like, you file the notice, like, initiating the claim, usually the person has, I don't know about, this is at least in BC where I'm from, you have 30 days to file your response and 30 days to file your counterclaim. So considering that the trial is supposed to be in January, 5 months before the trial, it's insane to file a counterclaim. I think on that basis alone, it's a good reason to postpone the trial, because you're going to have accurate time to respond to everything she's saying, even though she didn't really provide much evidence backing up what she's asking for. You still want to treat it seriously, so I don't think that's enough time, honestly. It says responding to the counterclaims will almost certainly require oversized briefing and a briefing schedule meaning that the parties' would not be at issue until October. Moreover, even prior to the filing of the counterclaims, the parties contemplated taking in excess of 50 depositions, many in California. Holy shit. Ms. Heard's counsel stated that she seeks 5 full days for Mr. Depp's deposition, which he opposes, requiring him to file a forthcoming motion. Ms. Heard also seeks to take the deposition of Adam R. Waldman, which is such a joke. She's going to depose his lawyer. For starters, there's such a thing as attorney-client privilege. He can't, what is he going to tell you? He can't tell you that. Can you imagine? That doesn't even make sense. You're going to depose his lawyer, the lawyer that's helping him sue you. What do you think you're going to get? That's ridiculous. One of Mr. Depp's attorneys in this action, which Mr. Depp believes is highly improper, and will require this court's resolution. Ms. Heard's latest team of California counsel has challenged Mr. Depp's subpoenas to witnesses there, and in some cases seeking to relitigate matters previously decided by Judge Bullock. Taking necessary discovery on the counterclaims vastly expands the remaining tasks. Oh, hi Sabina! Love you guys! Oh, thank you! Oh, I love you guys! It says, Ms. Heard would not suffer any unfair prejudice from the short delay requested. To date, Ms. Heard has not offered any proffer of prejudice from a continuance of the trial from January 2021 until sometime between March and June 2021. Indeed, though she certainly bears no responsibility for Warner Brothers' shooting schedule, Ms. Heard chose to take advantage of the COVID orders and to file her answer and counterclaims at the last possible moment. In this context, a short continuance allowing a proper interval to take discovery on her counterclaims would not entail any prejudice to her, much less unfair prejudice. And it says, based on the aforesaid, Mr. Depp respectfully requests that the court grant his motion for continuance. So I think that's all totally fair. I think honestly just the fact that she just filed their counterclaim when the trial's in January, I think honestly that alone would even be enough reason to postpone the trial. I don't know, in my opinion, I've never even heard of that. Usually you have 30 days after getting served to file your counterclaim, but I guess maybe COVID, even though that's quite a long time, but I guess who knows what. But yeah, I think just even on that basis that it's reasonable to ask to push it back. Plus the fact that he's got his movie coming as well. I think that's fair. Let's see. Oh, and this is Johnny's demurrer and plea in bar to counterclaims, which is basically saying that he's opposing her counterclaim. And it says, Johnny Depp, by and through his undersigned counsel, hereby file his demurrer and plea in bar to defendant's counterclaims filed on August 10th, 2020. In support of this demurrer and plea in bar, Mr. Depp states as follows. Defendant Amber Heard has filed counterclaims for declaratory judgment, defamation and defamation per se, and violation of the Virginia Computer Crimes Act. For the reasons stated below and in the forthcoming memorandum of law, the plaintiff respectfully requests that the court should dismiss each count in the counterclaims in its entirety. It says count 1. Ms. Heard's counterclaim for declaratory judgment fails to state a claim upon which relief can be granted. Specifically, inter alia, count 1 fails as a matter of law because it is merely a defense to Mr. Depp's affirmative claim against Ms. Heard for defamation, recharacterized as a counterclaim. And it says here, dismissing counterclaims that are merely defenses masquerading as counterclaims. I would definitely agree with that. Because, I think I don't know if you have watched my videos on breaking down her counterclaim, but she was accusing Johnny Depp and his lawyer of defamation when they were actually just responding to her allegations. So she's alleging him that he's a wife beater or whatever. He's saying, I'm not. She's lying. And she's saying, oh, you called me a liar. You're defaming me. That's not how it works. Whereas here, a claim for declaratory judgment seeks a determination of a dispute rather than an adjudication of the parties' rights. The case is not one for declaratory judgment. The court should therefore dismiss count 1 of the counterclaims. Count 2. Ms. Heard's counterclaim for defamation fails to state a claim upon which relief can be granted. Yep. Specifically, inter alia, count 2 fails as a matter of law because none of the allegedly defamatory statements identified is actionable. The allegedly defamatory statements are either opinions, rhetorical hyperbole, lack any defamatory implication, and or are absolutely or qualifiedly privileged as statements made in connection with the judicial proceeding. The court should therefore dismiss count 2 of the counterclaims. So if you watched my last video, what she attached as evidence of defamation were literally articles. Some of them, like one had a transcript of an audio tape between her where she admitted to hitting or punching Johnny Depp, throwing pots and pans. There was a transcription where it was in writing. Some of them shared the audio. So that is just, I guess, evidence, right? And all of these were articles that were not written by him, and or they were his lawyer providing an opinion or a response or a statement. But I don't think that any statements made throughout the course of the case by a lawyer can be considered as defamation, you know? It's just him making a statement, if that makes sense. I think, anyways. And then it says here, count 3, Ms. Heard's counterclaim for violation of the Virginia Computer Crimes Act fails to state a claim upon which relief can be granted. Specifically, inter alia, count 3 fails as a matter of law because Ms. Heard has not alleged the requisite elements of harassment by computer as set out in Virginia Code, including inter alia, that Mr. Depp used a computer or computer network with the requisite intent, or that obscene language, an obscene proposal, or threat of an illegal or immoral act was made. The court should therefore dismiss count 3 of the counterclaims. Yes, she's saying that there's bots, Russian bots to be specific, that were the ones that were all... She's basically saying that anything written online by anyone that's against her, you know, I'm not talking about by the media, but by individuals on Twitter or Reddit or whatever, she's saying that they're all Russian bots, and that it's all an orchestrated cyber attack on her. And she said that Adam Waldman, his lawyer, has connections with the Russians. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. There's no proof for it. You can't just go and make a wild claim like that with nothing to back it up. And it's very far-fetched. Anyways. And also, why Russian? Why do the bots have to be Russian? I don't get it. Anyway, okay, anyways. And then it says here, plea and bar. Ms. Heard's counterclaim for defamation seeks to oppose the liability on Mr. Depp for statements she alleges were made November 2018 and July 3rd, 2019 that are barred by the applicable 1-year statute of limitations. The court should therefore dismiss Ms. Heard's counterclaim for defamation insofar as the allegedly defamatory statements are barred by the statute of limitations. Mr. Depp is also entitled to statutory immunity from defamation liability, the Virginia anti-slapp statute, and should be awarded attorney's fees and costs pursuant to the same provision. Let's see. So there's a 1-year limitation, then yeah. Because the statements that Amber made about him were made late 2019. So Johnny was within the 1-year statute of limitations. But her alleged, yeah, if it's past the 1-year statute of limitations, then there isn't even a grounds for her to try to make a claim. So it'll be interesting to see what the judge says. Who knows? But okay. Yeah, he's saying that. Yeah, Victoria, he's saying that it's defamation. She's saying it's defamation when he's just defending himself. It's crazy. Okay. So here's her how many pages is it? 68-page opposition for Johnny's motion for continuance, which is the motion for him to reschedule. So that sounds a little petty to me. I don't know if 68 pages was necessary, you know. But yet she can't respond to other things, you know. She can't provide evidence, but she can write 68 pages opposing a motion. Like, oh, come on. Okay. It's saying here, plaintiff elected to bring the suit in Virginia and as such necessarily agreed to adhere to the rules of this court. This court clearly communicated to the parties they would be treated the same as all litigants appearing in this court. Yet plaintiff now requests this court to effectively stay these proceedings and delay plaintiff's deposition for 5 months while he travels to the UK for business. This is not good cause under Fairfax Practice Rule F.102, and granting the request would set a highly problematic precedent. Trials get reset all the time. It's not a big deal, honestly. It's not. On August 7th, 2020, plaintiff was properly noticed for deposition lasting up to 5 days. Plaintiff was invited to inform of any conflicts or alternative dates. Counsel for defendant learned through Warner Brothers counsel, not through plaintiff, that plaintiff has no intention of appearing at his deposition. Well, I'm sure that he's going to appear eventually. He kind of has to. When parties to litigation face conflicts, it is incumbent upon them to find solutions such that the judicially scheduled dates are prioritized for the effective administration of justice. Yet plaintiff made no effort whatsoever. Oh, come on, it's COVID. Really? You can file your counterclaim in like 5 months before the trial, and you made clearly no effort to file the counterclaim previously. Like, give me a break. Okay. After counsel for defendant received no response to her questions about those efforts, she proactively reached out to Warner Brothers counsel. Although plaintiff had been contacted in late June or July with the proposed filming dates. Wait, who? After okay, so that's a little weird. So Amber Heard's lawyer reached out to the Warner Brothers lawyers. What? That's not really appropriate. You know what I mean? Like, that's weird. Okay. He did not alert them to the trial dates or the deposition. Instead, he waited until now and specifically requested the letter attached to the motion for continuance. Plaintiff determined that, rather than speak with his employer to work his film commitments around his deposition and trial, plaintiff is not filming throughout the entire 5 months. He has periods off. And in spite of his being the plaintiff in this action, he asked his court to subserviently reschedule around his employment and the entire film schedule and production. Plaintiff also claims the counterclaims justify continuing the trial. However, plaintiff provides no basis for why he cannot adequately prepare with 5 months between the filing of the counterclaims and trial, and refused to respond to defendants' questions on this issue. What questions? That's not proper. 5 months is not really. I mean, who knows? Like, Johnny's trying to get it thrown out. It could get thrown out. It could, not even move forward. We'll see. But typically, that's not normal to file a counterclaim 5 months before the trial. That's not normal. With respect to count 1 of the counterclaim, plaintiff has indicated he is asserting the same claim against defendant. Count 2 is effectively the mirror of plaintiff's defamation claims. Excuse me, her whole counterclaim is a mirror of his thing. She just doubled what he asked for. Like, I can't with her. And count 3 is based on the conduct by plaintiff and his counsel, Mr. Waldman, which is a daily campaign to destroy defendant's reputation. Sorry, girl, you destroyed that all on your own. And career through social media, the internet, and the press. Plaintiff should be well prepared to defend against these actions, which need to stop, and only a trial will effectively end this campaign of terror orchestrated by the plaintiff. Oh, come on. Oh my God. Prejudice is not a factor for the court in determining whether to grant a continuance, but if it were, defendant will be significantly prejudiced. She's expended a significant amount of legal fees and costs defending this litigation, which will only increase exponentially. Well, you filed the counterclaim, which was baseless, so clearly you're okay with spending more. With a 5-month hiatus and continuance. Defendant's career has virtually halted, good, with the exception of Aquaman 2, which she was told months ago will begin filming in February 2021. Warner Brothers counsel said they do not know when Aquaman 2 will begin filming, but it will be sometime in spring of 2021, which is also a basis for denying the continuance. If filming of plaintiff's movie is good cause, then this case could be continued again if defendant's filming begins through its duration, and so on, establishing a slippery slope precedent. Okay, so you don't want it rescheduled because you might be filming and you don't have a date. Sounds like they're leading you on, girl. Like, they just told you, oh, we don't know when. It's sometime in the spring. I don't know. It sounds like they could be leading you on because Johnny Depp has dates. Why don't you have dates? Right? You're talking like, oh, why didn't he plan? Why are you not planning? Why don't you have this information? Why don't you have these dates? Spring of 2021, that's super vague. You know? What's good? Like, I think it's just a matter of, if, like, just from my experience working in law, you should be, as annoying as it may be, when people ask for, you know, extensions or to reschedule things, the best practice is to just go along with it, because you never know when you might need more time, or you know, or you might need to reschedule something, and it's just best practice to not be a jerk. You know, it's not, at the end of the day, just it works better if everyone is like working together. You know what I mean? You don't need to make it such a of course this case in particular is very, very aggressive, so of course she's gonna, whatever comes up, she's gonna deny, of course. But anyway, says this court recognized the importance of strict adherence to trial schedules in the practice manual. The judges of the Fairfax County Court believe that the maintenance of strict calendar control leads to a more expeditious and efficient administration of justice. This case has already been continued twice because of COVID-19, which is good cause. Plaintiff's motion should be denied, and plaintiff should be ordered to appear at his deposition as noticed, subject to reasonable COVID-19 protocols. Let's see. Kimberly, I hope they do prosecute her in Australia. Oh yeah, I heard about that. Like, Mr. Barnaby, I think it was, saying that he wants to look into prosecuting her for perjury. I wonder if anything will come of that. Okay. Statement of key facts, summary of issues. On May 18th, 2020, plaintiff participated in setting the January 11th, 2021 trial date, estimated to last 3 weeks. On August 7th, defendant noticed plaintiff's deposition for up to a week in Virginia, beginning October 5th, 2020, to which defendant has not objected to place or dates, has provided no alternative dates, or objected to the suggested protocol. It says plaintiff did not meet and confer before filing this motion. Has refused to respond to defendant's questions or provide any information on when plaintiff first learned of the filming schedule, plaintiff's efforts to schedule around his deposition and trial, and plaintiff's time off during the filming. Who do you think you are? Like really, who do you think you are to demand that? It's like, it's simple. Either you deny. I don't know why they're making such a big drama about this. It's honestly not really that big of a deal. It's like the denial or acceptance of someone's motion to reset, as we call it here in Canada, or I guess a continuance is what they're calling it. It's like either you accept it or you don't. You don't need to demand all these particulars for more information. Like, who do you think you are to demand that? It's simple. Like, do you agree with it or do you not agree with it? It's like, after plaintiff refused to respond to these reasonable questions, defendant, issued expedited discovery requests. Oh, what a dick. Okay, so he probably didn't respond because he doesn't have to respond. Like, it's up to, at the end of the day, it is up to the judge. So I don't know, unless the judge is demanding of that information, he really doesn't have to respond, especially since, it's clear that she's going to say no matter what. So why do you have a discovery request? Like, fuck off. She's like, asking for the responses to be provided to defendant by September 1st, otherwise due September 10th. Plaintiff did not respond to the email request for information for a meet and confer. She's trying to meet up with him or something? I don't get it. Did not expedite any responses and has not responded as of the filing of his opposition 2 weeks later. With no information provided by plaintiff, counsel for defendant reached out to Warner Brothers and learned the plaintiff would have been contacted in late June or July to discuss. That's not your place, honestly. Why are you contacting them? And honestly, and Warner Brothers, why are you giving out that information? I'm more annoyed that Warner Brothers would give out that information because, or maybe they didn't, or maybe they're just full of shit because that's a contract. Wouldn't that shit be like private? I have a hard time believing that they would just offer that information up. You know what I mean? I don't know. And learned that plaintiff would have been contacted, and that contrary to plaintiff's representation, he learned well before the August 19th letter. In fact, plaintiff requested the letter from Warner Brothers. It was not sent in the ordinary course of business, nor was this how or when plaintiff learned of the filming schedule. Counsel for defendant even then reached out and asked for all dates between August 26th and October 1st when plaintiff would be available for deposition, and plaintiff only suggested they were looking at London in late September by WebEx, but never provided any specifics. Gee, why do you think? Because he didn't know for sure. I don't buy this. Like, how would he have known that far back with COVID? There's no way. It just doesn't make sense what they're saying. It says this court should not condone nor begin a precedent that a plaintiff who chooses to bring an action in this court will be entitled to continuances based on work schedules, particularly where plaintiff has made no effort to work around the film schedule, refused to meet and confer, provided no evidence of efforts to adjust his work schedule, and is eschewing his deposition without even telling or working with counsel for defendant when she reached out. Dude, he's gonna do his deposition and chill. Like, he has to. So just relax. Nor should this court determine that an actor who chose not to bring this case in California is more important than any other employee in Virginia and should receive special consideration. This court takes pride in holding its trials within 1 year of filing, with rare exception. While the COVID-19 pandemic, yeah, there you go, see? COVID-19 pandemic has caused unprecedented delays to ensure the safety of the judiciary, the staff and participants in the legal system. This court should not dilute the significance of challenges facing the court by granting continuance for the wrong reasons. This is especially true where plaintiff has not taken his responsibilities as a party seriously, has not complied with the rules in bringing this motion, has not cooperated with defendant in trying to work through the core issues. Dude, you're gonna deny it no matter what. You know that. Oh, sorry. And has still, as of the filing of this motion, not provided even one document in response to 4 sets of RFPs, all served in July and long overdue, in spite of this court's admonitions that documents need to be produced in compliance with the rules. This includes the withholding of 50 to 51 tape recordings possessed by plaintiff where defendant is on the tapes. These were not produced in the UK These were not produced in the UK proceedings, suggesting they are quite damaging to plaintiff. Interesting. So how does she even know that these recordings exist? Interesting. Oh, well, suggesting they are quite damaging to the plaintiff? That means she knows they are quite damaging. I'm sure she knows that they're damaging if they exist. So, I mean, that would make more sense then as a strategy from Johnny Depp's lawyers, because you don't want to show your whole hand, especially with Amber in there. And her girlfriend would walk out every day with the tape recording, even though it was against the law to record in there. I'm sure they were. And so that would make sense for Johnny Depp's lawyer to save his big ticket stuff for his own case against Amber. While plaintiff now seeks a continuance of up to 5 months with no intention of producing plaintiff for deposition in the interim, he's gonna depose. Shut up. Plaintiff's counsel, Mr. Waldman, who is thus far refusing to show up for his notice deposition in October. What? He's obviously gonna deny that because it doesn't make sense. You can't. How is that appropriate? How does that even make sense? He is bound by attorney-client privilege. You can't I don't understand what you expect to get out of deposing the lawyer that's helping him try to sue your ass. What do you want him to do? Give up his old strategy? I don't think so. Continues to disseminate false information in the media and circulate declarations with the header of this case purporting to include highly inflammatory testimony that have never been filed with this court or provided to counsel for defendant. This case has generated an enormous amount of publicity, much of which was falsely created and disseminated by Mr. Depp and his agents, intended to inflict irreparable damage to defendant and her reputation and profession. No, it's actually intended to defend and regain his reputation, actually. It says, just this summer, Mr. Waldman repeatedly referred to defendant's domestic violence allegations on social media as a hoax, has retweeted false and defamatory allegations about defendant's relationships with other people, and has attacked defendant's counsel, flagrantly disregarding this court's repeated admonitions to not litigate this case in the press rather than in a Fairfax courtroom. And perhaps most concerning, Mr. Waldman has leaked documents that were clearly designated confidential under the protective order in this case to the press in a further attempt to smear defendant. Don't worry, sweetie, the press would have found out sooner or later. This whole... In cases of defamation, the whole point was that you publicly smeared someone's name and reputation. So it would only make sense that, the whole purpose of someone to sue you in that case is to clear their name and to have that person prove whatever their allegations are. So wouldn't it make sense, even for just a normal person, that these would be an open case, especially since he is a celebrity and she smeared him in the media, and so he's trying to get his name cleared. So everything's going to be out in the open, whether she likes it or not, and whether that's now or down the line during the trial, it's all going to come to light. So it really doesn't matter. It says defendant intends to vindicate herself at trial. Oh, really? If you intend to vindicate yourself, why do you keep trying to have it dismissed? Probably 5-6 times now she's tried to dismiss the trial, or his whole case, I should say. Yet each day that passes before trial is a further opportunity for Mr. Waldman, on plaintiff's behalf, to smear defendant's name, tarnish her reputation, and irreparably damage her career. As mind-blowing as UK 1 was, I think gloves will really come off in Virginia 1. I guess I agree. As alleged in Ms. Heard's counterclaim, this has long been plaintiff's stated goal. Plaintiff should not be permitted to delay the trial and continue causing this damage simply because there is a scheduled movie shoot conflicting with trial and for which he has made no effort to schedule around his deposition and this trial. This case needs to end, and to end soon. Defendant has the right to a prompt resolution of this matter, and this court should not favor plaintiff's last-minute request in lieu of this court's policies and procedures, particularly where plaintiff has engaged in a pattern and practice of arrogance and disregard for this court's rules, policies, and procedures. The motion for continuance should be denied, and plaintiff should be ordered to appear at his deposition as noticed. So, Amber Heard. So, clearly there's a lot of attachments, so I guess why not, let's go through them. Attachment number 1, notice of deposition by video. Amber Heard will take videotape deposition of John C. Depp on October 5th, and each day at 9:30 throughout. Oh yeah, so he opposes it. So why he opposes the, whether it's like the length of time or whatever, he's opposing it. So he's not going to take the next step and tell you when he's available, because he thinks that 5 days are too long. So he's gonna oppose that, and then I'm sure the judge will have to decide. So that's why he hasn't responded, because he is in opposition to what you're asking for. So that clears that right up. Attachment to Elaine Bredehoft. I'm assuming that's from Amber's counsel. Oh wow, they always want their stuff like blacked out, but they didn't black out emails of other people. They purposely put Adam Waldman's email up there in full. Says, Ben and Camille, given the fast impending trial date and the deadlines associated with the trial date, we would like to take a significant portion of the depositions during the months of September and October, beginning immediately after the Labor Day weekend. Well, that might be what you like, but doesn't mean you're going to demand to get that. Many of these depositions will be taken in California. We recognize, in light of COVID-19, we will need to cooperate fully, respect the legitimate concerns of deponents and counsel, and develop protocol to handle these depositions to maximize fairness and protections. We would like to take the deposition of the plaintiff, Mr. Depp, the week of October 5th. So I can't remember. There's a lot of information we just went through, but based on what Johnny said, I think he would be already in filming at that point. Or I could be wrong. I don't know. Hold on. Early October 2020, yeah. So how can he attend for a deposition when he's going to be in London in October? She just doesn't get it. Okay. Let's see. We would like to set the entire week aside for his deposition. He's going to be in the UK. After watching him on the stand in London, I believe this is a reasonable amount of time for his deposition. After watching him on the stand, they honestly did get an unfair advantage by getting to hear his statement in advance, but I'm sure Johnny's side has some tricks up their sleeve. It says, however, if the COVID-19 threat remains and he is not comfortable appearing in person, then we will agree to take his deposition remotely, but it will have to be under the circumstances and protocols set forth below. I roll. Towards that end, I am attaching a notice of deposition for Mr. Depp. I will be happy to work with you on this. With respect to the other depositions, we would like to schedule the following during the month of September, beginning after September 8th, 2020. Okay, I don't know, in my work as a paralegal in law, you don't just fucking demand dates and say, oh, it's going to be this date, it's going to start here, and then provide a schedule. That's not how it fucking works. You ask for people's availability. They go through their, you give date options. You say, I'm available this day, this day, this day, this day. What date, which of those times works for you? And then you go and you look at your calendar, because lawyers are busy people. What the odds of the lawyer being available on that one day that you're available are slim. So that's why you give options, and then the other side compares with their calendar and sees what they have free. It's not you demanding this date of this person. And also, you also go back, like, say whoever these people are that they want to depose, like Johnny Depp's, like, say if they're for Johnny Depp or Johnny Depp's witnesses, then they would have to then contact that person, make sure that they're also available, get their list of available dates. It's none of this bullying tactic bullshit when you just demand a specific date. That's not how it works. It says, I am suggesting dates and would like to let me know if you and your team, and it's not just his team, it's also the person as well. Like, especially cops. Cops are busy people too. I plan to issue the subpoenas for those requiring subpoenas next week. So I'd appreciate your letting me know your conflicts as soon as possible. I have doubled up where I believe we can take more than one day. And here she's already got her mind made up. It's going to be on this date with this person and this person and this person, without even asking if they're free. You just, what an idiot. You just take it upon yourself to demand that. It says, we obviously need to take more depositions, but we will await your supplementation to determine who, what, where, and why. On protocols. Oh, Kelly, that's why her first lawyers left her. That's actually one thing that I said. I wouldn't be shocked if her first lawyers left because they wanted to not go about it so aggressively, because we notice now, since she's changed her lawyer, she went from more of a defensive strategy at first to now she's more on the offense. Her new lawyer is definitely more aggressive, and that can I've seen that happen quite a lot. Like, say if your lawyer is too passive and you want a more aggressive lawyer, then oftentimes it just won't work out, and then they'll leave and go get a new lawyer. It's because at the end of the day, the lawyer has to go by the client's instructions, so it's whatever the client wants. So if the client is an aggressive person, then of course they would likely want to give a more aggressive instructions. They would probably want an aggressive lawyer as well. So it kind of makes sense that she would have left her previous lawyer and gone for someone more aggressive, because if she is an aggressive person, as all accounts seem to point to, then that would make sense. Please tell us which deposition you will attend in person. For any deposition you attend in person, we will also be present. If you do not tell us within 2 business days of our issuing the notices or subpoenas, 2 days of business, fuck off. We will assume you intend to attend in person. We'll provide you exactly the same courtesy. We need this much time because of scheduling flights. If you do not inform us within 2 days and inform us differently later, we will request reimbursement for any costs associated with the change and or increase in flights and accommodations, and will seek these from the court in the event of disagreement. We will agree to the same standards on our end. We will require the deponent to have the court reporter and the videographer present in the same room with the deponent, regardless of whether counsel is remote. They can practice social distancing and wear masks, but we need to ensure the deponent is free of any type of device to assist them in a manner which would be prohibited. If there are exceptions because of remoteness, we should discuss these ASAP and work out a mutually agreeable solution. Let's see. Please let me know as soon as possible whether any of these dates do not work for you and alternative dates in that event, and whether you represent any of the individuals other than Mr. Depp, Mr. Betts, and Mr. Duders, so we can send you the notice rather than the issue subpoenas and work directly through you on those. Please also let me know as soon as possible whether you are in agreement with the suggested protocol, and if not, your suggested alternative protocols. Thank you for your anticipated cooperation. We have a very intensive 5 months ahead of us before trial. I'm hopeful we can work together in a professional manner to accomplish the objectives of both sides. Well, this whole email is not very professional. It's very like, this is how it is. This is how it's going to be. You have to, you don't have the power to make these demands. It's up to the judge, okay? You can't just be like, it's going to be like this and it's going to be like this. No. You should ask, even though I know this is a super contentious case, this is not really typical. You would be a little bit more accommodating, even though I know this is a highly contentious case, but still. The lawyers are the ones. It's supposed to be your duty as a lawyer to try to calm things down, to try to be the reasonable one, Well, I guess Adam's pretty contentious as well, but I guess there's no other way to be in the as counsel. This is just a shit show at this point. Notice of deposition by video. She will take the video upon oral opening 9:30 October 5th. Oh, and so that's just her attaching the thing. But again, he already said right here in his motion for continuance that he's going to be filming in October of 2020. So therefore, that's why, precisely why he needs to push it back. He won't be available to depose. He won't be available to prepare for trial. Oh my God, Kimberly, thank you so much. That's so sweet. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, so October 2020. So, yeah, October 2020. He's not going to be available. That's the whole point. That's why he's not responding to your request for deposition, because he can't do it. Okay. Attachment 3. Ben. From Elaine Bredehoft to Ben Chu. Who's Ben Chu? Ben. Yes, I might think it would be helpful for us to have a conversation to discuss the fee issue. We also need to talk about the 7th RFPs and would like to discuss some other issues that are coming up in the California subpoenas to see if we can resolve them. On your request for continuance of the trial, what is the filming schedule for Mr. Depp and when did he learn of this? Also, what is it that you think requires more time based on the counterclaims? I'm fine with your taking the September 11th Friday hearing date. We would like to schedule our motions for the 18th and 25th. Since no one needs to file their motions this Friday and my Thursday is pretty tight, may I suggest we have the meet and confer Friday after our motions. Alternatively, if you're not available, blah, blah, blah. Okay, boring. Let's see. I confess to being unfamiliar with this procedure. Meet and confer. So yeah, I guess this is from Johnny's side, asking if Miss Heard will agree to the motion to continue the trial. Filed just last week. We plan to file August 10th. We plan to file the motion this Friday and set it for hearing Friday, September 11th. So the judge will decide this coming Friday whether to push it back or not. So yeah, expect an update on that at the end of the week. Let's see. Ben, Camille, Andrew. So, a consent order respecting treatment of attorney's fees and costs by the court in event Ms. Heard prevails. Ha! Don't hold your breath. And the court determines an award of fees and costs are reasonable. Okay, why is this person already okay, why are you already talking about costs if she wins? Costs follow the event. That's literally the last thing that happens. Like, why are you talking about that? Like, the trial hasn't even started and you're talking about costs? Like, it's already a given that if she wins, she's going to get her costs. It's like you're almost trying to use it as like, oh, yeah, remember, if you lose, you're going to have to pay the costs. Yeah, we know. Like, that's how the legal system works. You pay the costs. So, like, it's just ridiculous. Like, we know. As you know, Ms. Heard has pleaded the anti-slapp provision, and under the statute, she prevails and the court determines it qualifies, she'll be entitled to fees. Yeah, it's like you're preaching to the choir here. They're lawyers. They know how this shit works. You don't need to. It's just so condescending. Let's see. Kimberly, her future movie schedule isn't going to be as crowded as she expected after she burns her credibility in Hollywood after this. Yeah, well, she says right in the thing that it's only Aquaman, and even then, she doesn't have any set dates, so it sounds like they might be stringing her along. Deborah Rose, did the judge deny Johnny the delay? It hasn't been heard yet. It's going to be heard on Friday, September 11th. She does not have the power to overrule the judge's decision. No, she doesn't. What is going on is I'm just reading her opposition, what she's saying. So she doesn't want the judge to push it back. And Johnny's saying that he's not available, so I'm just kind of going through everything. But at the end of the day, the judge is the one that will make the decision, and he will be doing that on Friday, September 11th. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so yeah, that's just typical stuff. Ben, happy birthday early. Please forward me all communications between Warner Brothers and Mr. Depp or anyone on his behalf relating to restarting. No, he doesn't have to do that. That's ridiculous. He doesn't have to do that. Who do you think you are? And specifically, Mr. Depp's filming schedule and any efforts Mr. Depp made to work around his scheduled deposition and the trial. This will assist us in our end in fully reviewing and evaluating the situation. Your supplemental interrogatory responses, fuck you. Who do they think they are? Like, it's just a simple procedural thing. It's like a procedural thing. It doesn't, at the end of the day, it's not going to affect the outcome of the case. It's going to, like, you know, Johnny, like, worst case scenario, if they say that the trial has to move ahead, then of course Johnny might have to lose out on an acting gig or something, or, which is unfortunate, but whether it gets pushed back or not, it's, you know, it's a procedural thing. It should be so simple, yet of course they're making it a lot more difficult than it needs to be. Let's see. And then they are due tomorrow, so they just go ahead and impose a date, eagerly awaiting to obtain more information for those you believe have knowledge in this case. Let's discuss. Agreeing to leave open for the hearing of Mr. Depp's court. It was 3 days after my birthday. Mr. Depp was informed today by Warner Brothers that shooting of Fantastic Beasts will commence in early October 2020 and run through middle of February 2021. Accordingly, he seeks to a continuance of the trial date. Obviously, we're willing to discuss your scheduling preferences. See, they're not being dicks about it. They're just asking what's your availability. If your client is amenable to what would be a relatively brief continuance from January 11th. Yeah, he's asking for maybe pushing it back a month. It's not anything crazy. You know, like, and there seems like they're being nice. Like, what is your scheduling thing? The judge is going to get pissed off. Yeah, Diane, the judge probably will, because it's not normally this annoying. I don't know. On another subject, approximately how depositions does how many, I think that means to say, does Miss Heard plan to notice? Let's see. Discuss the fee issue. What is Mr. Depp, and when did he learn of this? Also, what is it that you think requires more time based on the counterclaims? Well, I mean, there's not much substance to the counterclaim, but I mean, that's just not proper procedure. I guess, like, I know it's COVID, but how did it get pushed back that far? That's insane. And I don't know, I think that in itself, as baseless as her counterclaim is, I think that's fine to push it back just based on that. But again, it's up to the judge. Let's see. Katie, geez, they are vicious. Yeah. Well, I guess the client is vicious, so she probably picked a vicious lawyer. Let's see. I wonder how much they charge her for drawing up this pile of kindling. Yeah. A lot per, and probably at an hourly rate. Yeah, definitely on an hourly rate. I don't know, probably like hundreds of dollars per hour. Let's see. Yeah, imagine like making that much money an hour. That's insane. Hundreds of dollars per hour. Dear Elaine, assessor that will agree to this. Okay, so that's just asking if she would be agreeable to it, to pushing it back. Consent order in the event Miss Heard prevails. Yeah, whatever. Hold on. If you're unwilling to enter into a consent order, please let me know. So I guess Johnny's side consented. They're probably like, okay, bitch, we'll sign your stupid consent order to get the attorney fees if you win, because we don't think you're gonna win. Diane Rich, the UK judge, got pissed off. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, bots as a defense. Yeah, that's a new one. Attachment 5. Calendar control order. Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. Action requested. COVID plus LA courts clothing. 12 days of trial. That's a long trial. Attachment 6. Ben. This is an email, I guess, from Amber's counsel. Ben, I have not heard from you on the specifics I earlier requested relating to sudden restart of filming during Depp's deposition and the trial. I have therefore drafted RFPs on this issue. I have asked for them to be expedited, asking you to respond by September 1st to give us sufficient time to fully assess and respond. If you are not in agreement with expedited responses, then they will be due September 10th. So we would ask that you move the motion back to another Friday to give us sufficient time. I hope you will consider expediting so we can resolve this more quickly. Yeah, green. So this is, I think we already read this. We already read this. Read this. Expedited request, 9 set of requests for production to plaintiff C. Defendant Amber Heard by counsel requests that Johnny Depp respond to the following requests for production. Okay, so she's demanding these things or documents or evidence be produced by no later than September 1st, 2020. She asks for, in accordance with the rules of this court, you shall answer the following requests separately and fully in writing. Where information in your possession is requested, such requests. Okay, these are the instructions. Okay. Okay, let's just skip ahead to the requests. Okay. She wants all communications between Warner Brothers and Mr. Depp, or anyone on his behalf, relating to restarting and scheduling of the filming of Fantastic Beasts 3 2020 and 2021. All communications between Warner Brothers and Mr. Depp or anyone on his behalf relating to Mr. Depp's specific filming schedule. All communications between Warner Brothers and Mr. Depp or anyone on his behalf relating to any efforts by Mr. Depp to work around his scheduled deposition and trial. All communications between Warner Brothers Entertainment and Mr. Depp or anyone on his behalf relating to and or including Mr. Depp's call sheet. All insurance forms and doctor's reports. What? 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 That's none of your fucking business. Like, that's privilege. Doctor's report? That's privileged. Whether Mr. Depp has been cleared for and is fit to film Fantastic Beasts 3. Obviously, he's gonna be in it. Like, what? This is ridiculous. Kimberly, because this isn't a criminal case, do they have to be there for every court date? No, I don't think so, except for, like, maybe if they're on the stand or something, but if, it wouldn't make sense to, I guess, not be there because you're so invested in it, you know? Lisa. Oh, hi, Lisa. She wants everyone that Depp works with her to know her name. Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Next up, Chinese monkey spies. What? That's great. It says here, a sworn statement or declaration by Mr. Depp stating when he has to report to the set of Fantastic Beasts 3, his very specific schedule for filming, his efforts to work around his scheduled deposition in this case and the trial, and when he learned of his specific shooting schedule. Girl, she's doing the most, okay? It's not that deep. It's not that serious. You know, he doesn't need to provide you medical fucking records. Like, it's not that serious. Like, when someone asks to reschedule something because they have to work, it's easy. They say, dude, look, I gotta work, okay? And then you say, I'm going to be accommodating, or no, I'm going to be a pain in the ass, you know? You, like, who do you think you are to demand this? Like, it's just irritating. Like, that's it. Like, if the judge is the judge is the one that would request that, if he thinks it's so necessary, he would be like, okay, no, I need more information from you, or whatever. It's up to the judge to request those kinds of things. It's not up to Amber's lawyer to demand. Like, you know, it's supposed to be an even playing field. You know, you're not above him to demand things and demand them by this certain date. It's like, you know that you're not gonna make life easy for him no matter what. So why would he waste his time bending to your will and providing you with all these documents when it's like, okay, it's a no, got it, let's move on, you know? Like, she's always gonna say no. It's okay, Lisa, thanks for popping in. Yeah, exactly, Lola. How come he has dates for Fantastic Beasts, but she doesn't? That's a really good point. Like, and she's criticizing him, but it's like, of how he should have known, but you don't know. And you don't know when your dates are, so why don't you know? You know, so I almost think that maybe they're leading her on, or just waiting for the outcome of the UK case to see if they'll do it, because it wouldn't make sense for them not to give her dates if he's got the dates, you know? It's not like he says, I have surgery that day. Yeah, true. But I mean, like, if he's saying he's starting in October, which is like next month, and she wants the depositions to be in October, so if he's not going to even be in the country, how is that going to work? You know, so that, and without doing the deposition and all of that discovery process, like, it can't really move forward. So I don't know. I just think since she waited so long to do the counterclaim, they can afford to push it back. I don't know. That's just normal. I think that alone should be sufficient grounds. Oh yeah, Kimberly, exactly. He didn't have surgery. Yeah, there's nothing medical about it. Why do you need his medical records? Like, they're just trying to be contrary and just do the most, you know? Make life as difficult for him as possible. It's just a very contentious case. So here, a 9 set of requests for production. So I'm guessing this is Amber's request. Okay, let's skip through to the requests here. Oh wait, no, this is the same thing. Again, attachment. And this is a letter from Amber's counsel to Warner Brothers. Interesting. That is honestly, like, that's just way overstepping in my opinion. And aren't lawyers on some kind of privilege? How would they be able to give information on someone's contract and things like that? So I don't know. I think that's wrong if they did do that, but let's read on, I guess. Mr. Eckerly, I represent Amber Heard. I have been provided a copy of your letter to Mr. Edward White, dated August 19th, 2020, a copy of which I am attaching. As you are surely aware, Mr. Depp filed suit against Amber Heard in Virginia in March 2018, and the trial date was set for February 3rd, 2020. The trial date was then continued on May 18th, 2020, and the court set the new trial date beginning January 11th, 2021. The good faith estimate of the parties is the trial by jury will last 3 weeks. I am attaching the court's May 18th, 2020 scheduling order setting the January trial date. Please note that Mr. Depp's counsel was present by telephone for the setting of the trial date and agreed with those dates for trial. In preparation for trial, Mr. Depp's deposition was properly noticed for October 5th to 9, 2020, Virginia, where he brought the lawsuit. A copy of the notice of deposition of Mr. Depp, dated August 7th, 2020, is attached for your ready reference. Okay, but that's all fine and good, but he's going to be in the UK, like, it's for work. It's COVID. Just as you were granted concessions to file your counterclaim, like, how long after the case started? I think that you should also grant Mr. Depp some concessions as well. It's not physically possible for him to appear at your deposition if he's going to be in a completely different country. I'm sure you appreciate that these are serious legal obligations to which Mr. Depp has agreed to adhere in filing and pursuing his lawsuit in our jurisdiction. As we are all aware, studios attempt to work with their actors on scheduling filming. I'm assuming Mr. Depp and his representatives have provided these documents. Again, COVID, like, even though if he provided that, COVID changed things, and then they would just be like, sorry dude, this is the only time we can film. You gotta figure it out. So, it's COVID. And brought to your attention that these may potentially conflict with the filming schedule. I would appreciate your confirming that Warner Brothers Pictures will be flexible with Mr. Depp's filming schedule to ensure he meets his legal obligations in Virginia and is able to attend his deposition from October 5th to 9th, 2020, and he will be available for trial during the period January 11th to 29th, 2021. I feel like this was probably very calculated. I think even John's team probably said that too, like, for them to wait until this long in the game, this deep into the game, to file this full counterclaim, and before you even had a chance to respond, I hope you'll be available. So it's just like, it's almost like a power play or something to try to, it's a very common trick sometimes when lawyers play dirty, to wait to the last minute to do things or file things or serve things, to give the other person not enough time to respond or review those things. So it is a tactic. It's a little shady of a tactic, but it is something that people do on purpose, which I'm thinking is what happened here. Because you can't tell me that you couldn't have made that counterclaim sooner, unless, I mean, like, the counterclaim had no substance to it whatsoever, in my opinion. I could have whipped out a counterclaim like that in probably like half a day. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, a counterclaim like that, you print out some articles, sign it. Like, a counterclaim like that would probably take half a day to draft. Like, from the drafting perspective, half a day. Let's see. Kimberly, they need to stick to the courts, not who he works for. I agree. Yeah, exactly. Go through the courts and not try to bypass and ask his employer. Like, that's just inappropriate. Imagine if you were in Johnny's shoes and you were in a lawsuit with someone and they directly contacted your employer. That's just weird. Diane, yeah, and that's why I don't see her lawyers letting her do all this. Lawyers know the judge is going to get pissed off. Yeah, especially if they were, like, associated with, like, the Me Too kind of thing or whatever. They probably don't like to do that kind of more aggressive strategy, I guess, or, like, I don't know. Who knows, but they probably advised her that that would be a bad idea. And I'm guessing, well, the lawyer that she hired now is like a Virginia lawyer who's probably is just probably happy to do whatever for the exposure, to be honest. Oh shoot. Katie, they have no right to attempt to interfere with his work. Yeah, I agree. And yeah, yes, Kimberly, she's definitely going to try to ruin his work life, I think. This sounds like a letter Drop's lawyer should send if anyone like a letter Depp's lawyer should send if anyone. Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's just, it is nice for, just because it's a contentious thing, usually it's good if the lawyers and their staff can at least be calm, at least when dealing with each other, I guess. I mean, it's different if you have to write a formal letter, but an email where it's like informal and it's one lawyer to another, you shouldn't be this aggressive. Oh, hi. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Redipates Todialo. Sorry. Thank you so much. It's really sweet. Diane, 10 minutes to shoot the whole mess down. Let's see. I would appreciate you providing me with a copy of current shooting schedule and Mr. Depp's day out of days. If any reason the deposition or trial dates conflict with actual filming of Mr. Depp's part, please let me know if you are able to reschedule to accommodate Mr. Depp's legal obligations. As I'm sure you can appreciate, we're highly motivated for this trial to take place as quickly as possible. Yeah, I know my mom works on the films, in the film industry. She does like costumes. Hi, Mom. I don't think she's here, but I'm just saying hi. So it's like, it doesn't just, you can't just dip out when you in the midst of filming. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to dip out for a couple hours. You got to be ready to go whenever. And an average typical work day is 12 hours long, sometimes longer. So, and that you got to be there ready to go every single day, right? He's obviously a major part of the movie, a huge part of the movie. So, and also the way that the scheduling of the movie works is you have to be at different locations at different times, and you can only have this specific date. Like, they don't shoot things in order, if that makes sense. They shoot them based on like locations and their availability and things like that. Everything is shot out of order, so it's not really going to work like it's not really possible to have 5 days straight in the middle of that where he can just be full blown, because it's obviously a very big case. He's going to need to pay attention to and be on it. There's not going to be a 5-day break for him to do that, and he's not going to want to do that because, you know, as an actor, you have to memorize all these lines and everything. It's just too much. So it's just ridiculous that they're asking all these things, and especially Amber is an actor. She knows how these things go. So I don't know why. She or her counsel are acting brand new, and Amber knows how it goes. She's obviously an actor herself, albeit a shitty one, but she is also an actor. Let's see. Kimberly, he's never supporting a character. Yeah, definitely, he's always the lead. Okay, August 19th. This is from Warner Brothers Pictures Legal Affairs. Dear Edward, the theatrical motion picture presently entitled Fantastic Beasts 3 is being produced by Number 3 Films for distribution by Warner Brothers Pictures. Pursuant to the agreements between company and LRD Productions, Johnny Depp is currently scheduled to render services on the picture in London on an exclusive basis, commencing in early October and running through and including the middle of February. So yeah, exactly. Exactly what he said. Of course, as is normal for film production, these dates are subject to production exigencies and further scheduling changes, and the company may require artist services on the picture for additional period of time before and after such time periods in order for artists to complete his required services on the picture. So yeah, kind of like what I said, like, it could change. You got to make yourself available the entire time. It's different if you're like a character with a small part. In that case, then you would be probably given more of a specific time frame. But when you're such a huge part of the movie, you have to make yourself available the entire time. And that's basically what they're saying. And they're also saying they may require this additional services for a period of time. So sometimes the movies will even go late. Like, nothing is ever guaranteed when it comes to making movies. You know, they have crazy long hours. If they don't get the shot, they gotta come back and reshoot or something. Like, there's just so many things that could go wrong in movies. So they do need to make that allowance for that, because movies, nothing is ever guaranteed. Kimberly, plus reshoots and voiceovers. Yeah, definitely. Kelly, how many of us knew her name before this mess? I didn't. I think she'll be forgotten as soon as it's over, I hope. To be honest, I didn't really know her either. Okay, this is the same deposition. Yeah, that we saw before. Yeah. The same. There's a lot of repetition here. Attachment 9. Ben, I've added the remainder of the team to this email chain. So this is from Amber's counsel. Thanks for your response, but there is much more to this than a mere suggestion that you may make the plaintiff, in this case, available by WebEx in London in late September. Okay, so that's not good enough for you? See, they're just being a pain in the ass. Mr. Depp is currently under an obligation to appear in our offices the week of October 5th. I am attempting to explore all potential alternatives in light of your motion for continuance, which frankly is your obligation, not mine, but I am genuinely trying to work this through. First, you have 50 to 51 tapes between Miss Heard and Mr. Depp that you have promised to produce, were due in July, and Chief Judge White told you that you cannot produce on a rolling basis. You need to produce them within the rules. If we do not receive those today or tomorrow, so we can listen to them and transcribe, then it will be virtually impossible for us to be able to depose Mr. Depp before October 5th. Get it through your head. My God. He's saying that he can't be deposed that day because he's not available. And in the beginning of this document, she was saying, oh, he refuses to, like, as if trying to insinuate that he is trying to run away from his deposition. No, he's just not available. And likely we'll have to move it later or leave the deposition open. That is not the only request that is far overdue now. Okay, so then wouldn't it not be to your benefit to reschedule it then? Because then it would benefit you as well, because you would also have more time, you know? And if as you say, the deadline to produce has passed, then why wouldn't you want to push it back? Make it make sense, you know? Many others are necessary for his deposition, but I think the tape recordings highlight the timing issue best. Second, we will need to have a court reporter and a videographer present unless the partners can agree to an alternative protocol, which I invited in early August, and you have not proposed any protocols contrary to my suggestions. We will also require an attorney to be present, especially if Mr. Depp has one present. This would rule out London, because if the UK allows US citizens to enter in the country, there'll be a 14-day quarantine rule in effect. Okay, well then if it rules out London, then he really can't fucking do it. Because he's going to be in London, you know? That's not, like, he's not going to be able to hop on a flight, go take his deposition in the US and then hop back. Do you know how long it takes to fly to London? I've been to London. It takes like 11 fucking hours. Okay, like one way. It's a long ass flight. He can't just hop on like a private jet and go all the way out there and then go back, especially when you want 5 days. So this lawyer is being completely unreasonable. So unreasonable. Ugh. My God. Okay. Third, we need yeah, see, they're just making all these demands. I hate them. Third, we need sufficient facilities to be able to show and discuss documents, photographs, videos, and audio recordings. Fairfax Circuit Court has recognized the limitations of the WebEx system for these, and as a practical matter, the best way to accomplish this is for many of those documents and media to be presented in the room with a deponent. This is why I asked for Mr. Depp's location from now until he travels for the filming. Why does that matter? Like, why does that matter? Because by the time that you want him to actually depose, he's already going to be out of there. So why does that matter? I asked for Mr. Depp's location from now until his travels for the filming. You want to know his every location? Like, why is that any of your fucking business? If, for example, he is in California, although he is obligated to appear in Fairfax County, we would be amenable to working with you to take his deposition there. I don't understand your logic, okay? First, they're saying that they don't have all the shit that they need to take their deposition in October. Now they're wanting to expedite the deposition. What? Because we have counsel present in California and can make all of this work through a combination of technology, which is Zoom, and our legal team's conference room, assuming you deliver the far overdue documents and tapes ASAP. This is frustrating. So I again ask, where is Mr. Depp located? Why does that matter? And what dates is he available between now and his travel to the UK? Maybe he's not available, okay? Maybe he's a top tier movie star and he's kind of busy. Maybe he's preparing for his role. Maybe he's making money moves. I don't know. I also repeat my request for you to provide the responses to my specific requests about this filming issue. Both my email questions and the 9 set of RFPs that I've asked to be expedited. This entire issue is quite serious, and we ask that you take this seriously. Oh, fuck off. Attachment 10, transcript of hearing. Transcript of hearing conducted on August 21st, 2020. Depp versus Heard. Let's see. I want to convey to your clients or whatever is the attorney's fees are in the picture. I am trying to avoid doing that on discovery. Your so I'm just reading this out. Miss Bredehoff, Your Honor, may I ask one question that is an ongoing case that will help us in this, and we will absolutely do exactly what Your Honor has directed. The plaintiffs in this case have said we will produce on an ongoing rolling basis. The court, say produce pursuant to the Virginia rules, and the Virginia rules have a requirement that you continue to supplement. Oh my god, boring. Just gonna kind of see if there's anything that is even relevant. Discover, okay, this is talking about you're going to attempt to move to continue the trial. And when they do that, then I'll hear it when they do it. Oh, yeah, okay, so she's saying, this is, I guess, the counsel for Amber. This was said during court, like in the court. Your Honor, there is something that's going to come up with Your Honor that Mr. Chu brought to our attention yesterday, and I guess the night before, that they are going to attempt to move to continue the trial. The court, which is this, the judge says, well, when they do that, then I'll hear it when they do it. I'm not going to let you now argue against a motion he hasn't filed yet. Oh, shit. Snaps to that judge. Wait, what? Why was this included? I don't get it. The judge told you to stop. I don't get it. Why did you include that? As if that, like, helps your case. I don't know. It just shows that the judge thinks you're annoying as fuck. What? Okay, well, I guess, let's see. Kimberly, I'd be hilarious if you said, I'm not available that day because I'm getting married. Amber Heard, I refuse to use her acting name, would have a heart attack. Oh. Yeah, right? Like, right, Diane? Like, it doesn't really, there's nothing really to that except the end. The judge is like, you're being basically annoying. Like, he's like, I'll hear it when I hear it, you know? So, how does that help your case? How does, like, why are you attaching this? I don't understand. It doesn't make you look good. If you attach that, the judge is going to read that and be like, why is this in here? Like, what? The judge is going to be weirded out that that's in there. It doesn't really make you look very good. Yeah. I guess that's the end of that. So, I don't know. I guess we can chat for a bit. Does anyone have any thoughts or predictions? Like, I honestly think the judge, can't see why the judge would have a problem with rescheduling it. I mean, if it was just you or I or something working at Subway, I think the judge would be like, you know, bitch, you could get another job. It's not that serious. But because he's, you know, a huge movie star, I think it's a little bit of a different story. And because of COVID-19, that would also be taken into account. And also, oh yeah, that just came to my head now. So in this, they referenced that Warner Brothers said, oh no, he knew way ahead of time and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I see the letter that Warner Brothers provided them, but all that it really says in that letter was that it starts in early October and ends in February 2020. Nowhere did it say, oh, we told this guy about this months ago and blah, 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 blah. Nowhere does it say that. So that's why I was saying I really find it hard to believe that a lawyer would give specific information about someone's contract or anything like that. And they haven't actually provided proof that that happened. All that they provided was that yes, Warner Brothers is confirming, like they're saying the same thing that Johnny is, that the schedule was the same as Johnny provided. There's nothing in here in this letter about, you know, Johnny knew about this on this date months ago or anything like that. So that's why I was like, I find that hard to believe. So I don't see any proof of that. Oh, hello Gingerlocks and welcome. Oh, duct tape promotion. Oh my god. They call that a gag order. They do that in the law, but it's like, it's not literal. It's like, it's like figurative. Kimberly, yes it is. I live currently in Germany. She's known for the poop only. And you have to say she was married to Depp, not by her name, that nobody knows. Kimberly, I'd fly out for that court day. Honestly, it would be, I'd be like really interested to like see it go down in person. I don't know if, I'm not sure if it's going to be open to the public. I'm not sure. But that would be dope if it was. Victoria, I think she should be known forever as Turd. Oh my god. Kimberly provides proof of why you can't make. Yes, like this letter basically is backing up what Johnny said. It's backing up the same thing that he said. So I don't know. Like I said, she's doing the most, and her lawyer is probably okay to do it because they're charging her an hourly rate. Do you know how much money that she probably paid just to have someone draft up this bullshit? Fuck, who cares? Like, just say no. That's all you gotta say. The judge, I don't know. It was just like a waste of money. Anyways, but because the judge at the end of the day is just gonna do whatever he's gonna do. But I could see him granting it to Johnny simply because of COVID. And because it obviously, as much as the court schedule got pushed back, so did, you know, Fantastic Beasts schedule get pushed back. And Amber's just hoping to make him have to make a decision, in which case but then he'd be in breach of contract. So I think that's another factor too. There is a contract in place which he has to honor. So that also, I think, makes it a little bit different, that there is a contract in place. So he would of course, want to honor that, because I'm not quite sure what would happen if he didn't, but I'm sure there's some kind of consequence, I would say. Oh, we should crowdfund you to fly out for it. Oh my god, that's way too sweet. Gingerlocks, Amber is a compulsive liar. Gingerlocks, she honestly believes she's too beautiful for her to lose. I think she's, okay, so of course we don't know she is a narcissist, but in my opinion, allegedly, I think she is one, because narcissists can't take responsibility for their actions. Like, it doesn't matter whatever they do, whatever horrible thing they do, it's like, oh, but you made me that way, you pissed me off, you said this comment, you triggered me, you know that triggers me. But they just can't take responsibility or accountability for their actions, no matter what. They're always the victim, all the time. So and that's definitely with her. Like, she will just, even when I heard the audio, when Johnny was talking to her, he's like, you don't want to take this to court. Like, IO won't have your back. Like, is this really what you want to do? She was like, I'm defending myself. And then he said, you're defending yourself against something that didn't happen, you know? So that's very much what I think is going on here. Amber is trying to terrorize Johnny. Yeah, I definitely think so. Deborah Rose, could Johnny appeal a decision of the judge if he refuses to let Johnny delay? I honestly don't believe that will happen, but I'm curious. To be honest, I'm not from the US, so I'm not quite sure. But it's possible. It's definitely possible. Especially, like, say, if... I'm not sure what the consequences would be for him to break his contract with Warner Brothers. But it could be that also Warner Brothers might get pissed off by that too. And, like, and want to get involved somehow. Or, I don't know. Like, if the consequences are quite severe, then, yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know for sure. Diane Rich, I can drive to Virginia. Yes, girl, you definitely should. That's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Victoria, I am pissed that with all the evidences that Johnny has to disprove her claims, the media is still a simping turd. Yeah, I agree. I think all of this has definitely opened up, at least for me, my eyes of how biased the media is. And they're trying to make, Johnny Depp this big, powerful man. But she was having an affair, I mean, allegedly, but kind of seems that's the case, with Elon Musk. Who is more powerful between those two men? Elon Musk, a guy who literally invented a company called Neuralink that wants to implant technology into your brain. This is a guy that is just off his fucking rocker, my opinion. So, like, who do you think is more powerful in that case? Amber, of course, shacked up with the more powerful guy, and Elon has billions of dollars behind him, so he could very easily be controlling the media, and he has connection. Well, Murdoch or whatever, one of the Murdochs or something. He is on the board at Tesla, and he's at the Sun. This just goes to show how biased the media is. Katie, yeah, or Amber can pay his contract penalty for him to be in court. Well, definitely. I mean, I definitely hope Johnny doesn't lose out on this or have to say goodbye to that role. I mean, I don't know how that could really happen because he's such a big part of the script. Like, how do you just take him out of that? I don't know how that would even work, but I really hope that doesn't happen. But worst case scenario, if that did happen, I'm sure he would probably add that to his tab that he's suing her for sure. Crispy, she had to lie to the end because she can't lose. Yeah, I guess so. It's kind of like one of those things where once you're in it, you gotta stick to the story, I guess. Kimberly, I doubt Warner Brothers will hold him to it if he has to be there. Well, yeah, how can they just completely go back to the drawing board and like take his character completely out of the movie? That would be difficult to do. They would just probably have to suck it up and reschedule it, I guess. That's what I'm thinking. Since he's such a big part of the movie, because he's already been in 2 of the 3 movies, or this is going to be the 3rd one. They can't just like pick somebody out. Well, I mean they could. I mean that's what we're asking for them to do for Amber, but I don't know. It would be difficult for them to pull off. Kimberly, Elon lost me when he named his new baby. Like, oh yeah, he's a weird one. Like, honestly, I never really knew who he was until all of this mess, but some of the things he says and does are quite weird. And I remember due to COVID, he bullied the California government to letting them reopen the Tesla factory or something like that. So that speaks to his character. Seems like the kind of guy where he's like, this is my way, it's my way, I want it, like how I want it and when I want it. Like, he seems like the kind of guy that doesn't take no for an answer. And then Elon must get abused too. He got bruised face when he was with her. Yeah, I think I remember seeing that. Where am I from? I'm from New Westminster, which is like just outside of Vancouver in British Columbia. Right now it's 10:40 p.m. here. Katie, yeah, I think they'd wait for him too. Yeah, I mean, they probably wouldn't have too much of a choice. But, well, hopefully the the judge grants the continuance because, yeah, there's that whole counterclaim as well. Diane, she can't remember all of her lies. Yep. Jocelyn, he seems like a total creeper and a bully. Yeah, I agree. He definitely comes across that way too. To me, for sure. It costs so much to delay movie. Everyone is losing money. Oh yeah. Not to mention whoever is scheduling all that stuff, like the schedule. I think, what is it? Location scheduling. I don't know. They would have a huge nightmare doing all of that. Rosalind, imagine the bots she claims us to be. Be there to support Johnny. Oh yeah, alive and in the flesh. Oh, Kimberly, I'm in Washington State. Oh, that's not too far from me. That's not far at all. I'm only probably like, I don't know, 40 minutes from the border. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, guys, it's been so lovely chatting with you. This is my first time doing a live stream. Hopefully it went well. Let me know if you prefer this format over my regular videos, or maybe I'll start doing this more often. I think I had a good time, so why not? So yeah, let me know what you think, but I'm getting a bit tired, so I'm gonna call it a night. But yeah, comment down below what you thought of this live stream, any feedback that you may have, or if you prefer this or the old format. And yeah, I hope you all have a great evening or day, depending where you are. And thanks so much for joining me in this live stream, guys. I really appreciate it. Cat Meister, I think the media backs her because they're narcissists like Turret and just can't back down now. And the money she's got now isn't from Elon anymore. She just never donated the money she got from Johnny. Yeah, Cat. That's a good point. And I can't wait until they make Amber show those records for sure. Thanks, Jocelyn. It was fun as well. And I hope you also have a good night. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you so much. Yeah, Diana, is kind of fun, right? I like seeing all the comments and responding in real time. It's actually quite fun. Good night, bots. Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious. Yes, good night, fellow Russian bots. Okay, guys, thank you so much for coming, and I'll catch you in the next one. So probably like maybe Friday. Yeah, maybe let's do this again Friday or something. All right, take care, guys. Yes, let's do this again Friday. Okay, bye, guys. Good night.